This is your Barbados Today morning news update for Thursday, December the 20th. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Thanks for joining us. Topping the news at this hour, millions of dollars in goods that are possibly still edible are being dumped in Barbados every year once the dates that say best by, best before, or used by have been reached. Minister of Small Business, Entrepreneurship and Commerce Dwight Sutherland made the disclosure on Wednesday following a tour of the locally owned warehouse-type store Shop Smart on Cheapside, Bridgetown. Sutherland says the reason for this is that the country does not have the necessary sanitary and phytosanitary laboratories to do the required tests in order to determine how much longer the products could be allowed to stay on supermarket shelves.
The true picture really is, you may have a good that expires on the 19th of December, which is today, and that date has on it the best before date. It does not carry on it the expiry date. Goods carry either best before date or expiry dates. Expiry dates mean that you need to take it off your shelf and dump it, but the best before date of the 19th means that you can probably use the good on the 20th and on the 21st. So the rate at which this good reaches the limit for consumption may be a short or may be a long. But if we had these sanitary and phytosanitary lab that we can test the quality of the good to determine how long we can carry the good on the shelf with the BBD date, which is the best before date, then that would minimize the millions of dollars of goods that we dump in this country annually with a BBD date.
Sutherland also said that unfair pricing by some freighting companies could be responsible for the relatively high prices seen on some items on supermarket shelves. And he promised that there would be no letting up by his ministry until there was an improvement in consumer prices, especially on basic food items.
I would want to use the word unfair competition as it relates to shipping prices, whereby some retailers in the country are benefiting from lower shipping prices than others. And indeed, this would lead to a disparity that we don't want to see in the country. So those are some of the, well, I shouldn't say some of the challenges. One of the challenges that he would have told us about this morning, and he's very passionate about it, and he would like us to address it. And we as a government, we intend to sit with some of the other retailers and indeed the shipping lines. Anything that impacts retail in this country and anything that impacts consumer pricing in this country, we indeed have to be at the forefront in addressing. We're not bullies, but we're here to make sure that everything is fair across the board.
The Barbados government is on the cusp of an initiative that could slash the demand for imported vegetables by over 90%. The announcement came Wednesday from Minister of Agriculture Inda Ware after touring in a grow that's a hydroponic farm which produces lettuce, herbs and other leafy greens housed within a 40-foot shipping container at Hastings Christ Church. Minister Ware has invited Inagro's two directors, Warren Kelman and Rashi Pajwani, to be part of a similar project being rolled out by government at the start of the new year.
If we are going to get into climate-smart agriculture, then this is the way we have to go. So that if we get a climate event, we don't find ourselves without food for extended periods of time. And what is it that we have to preserve? We have to be able to protect the amount of food that we're going to need to get through a climate event. We have to protect the seedlings to make sure that we have them at our disposal so that we can continue to grow.
9 young Barbadians are now armed with the skills in film and digital media production, which open up opportunities for employment locally, regionally, and globally. They displayed some of their work during the Youth Mainstreaming Program's Digital Media Showcase at the Ministry of Youth in Sky Mall yesterday. One of the students, King Griffith, spoke on behalf of the evening class.
The support we gave each other was on a familial level. Nothing felt stronger when we showed up to each shoot and worked hard, despite how sleepy and tired we were. No matter how many takes it took to get the right shot, the dedication was visible. We each had our disagreements like any family would, but we never allowed these disagreements to interrupt our work. We left them at the door of every set and worked together to get the job done.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
We're back with news from the region now. Elderly people are increasingly being abandoned at the Georgetown Public Hospital to the dismay of government authorities. Chief Executive Officer retired Brigadier George Lewis says it's posing serious challenges for the healthcare institution.
Where patients are discharged, but then the relatives and loved ones are not coming quickly enough to take them home. Means a bed is occupied when we have a patient who can utilize that bed. And at the same time, in some cases, particularly for the elderly, those patients being abandoned in the hospital. Now we have a policy we can't evict the person. So what we have to do is to work with the social services to see if we can find a placement for that person.
And on the international scene, President Donald Trump has begun what will be a total withdrawal of U.S. troops from Syria, declaring on Wednesday they have succeeded in their mission to defeat Islamic State and were no longer needed in the country. More in this report from Reuters Television.
U.S. officials telling Reuters on Wednesday that President Donald Trump has ordered a withdrawal of all U.S. troops in Syria, although the timing of the pullout remains unclear. Trump on Wednesday tweeting, "We have defeated ISIS in Syria, my only reason for being there during the Trump presidency." The White House adding in a statement that, "We have started returning United States troops home as we transition to the next phase of this campaign." Trump has long expressed a desire to bring U.S. forces in Syria home.
You're inclined to pull the troops out?
I want to get out. I want to bring our troops back home.
But American military leaders, including Defense Secretary James Mattis, have cautioned against a withdrawal, warning it could create a vacuum where Islamic State could reemerge.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We are also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. Now you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Emmanuel Joseph. Have a fantastic day.